Okay, this is gonna be episode. Let's see what I got here. Hold on. There's some of that. Okay, let's see what I got here. This is episode 108. 1, 2, 3. Well, hi my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And guess what? It's already February. In fact, it's getting close to the middle of February while I'm trying to get this up. I've had the project done for a while, but I just had to push myself. Well, how are you? How's the new year going so far? Look, don't get distracted. Don't look to the right or to the left. Look, we're pushing through. Hey, sometimes you have to make your own self happy. You just can't depend on circumstances. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to knit and crochet our way to just to make our own self happy. I hope you're doing well. I see that the weather has calmed down some. In fact, it got a little warm here. I went out the other day to get my nails done, and I'm telling you, I was sweating. I had to come in the house and change my clothes 3 times. First, I put on a turtleneck, and then my little blue jean jacket. Got to my car, just outside the garage, sweating. Had to come back in. Running out another shirt. Another blouse. You know, okay. Went outside again. Still sweating. I'm telling you. Finally, I went to my, my number one thing, a shell. My little white shell and my blue jean jacket and my sweatpants. So, I got over there and thank goodness I did change, because I'm telling you, it really got warm. Warmer than what it had been, so, it felt really great. So I hope that your weather has calmed down too. Well, first of all, it's February. Of course, February. I'm not doing a Black History Month this year. I thought about some things, and I wanted to share some things. And if I have time near the end of the month, I might share some things about me. But I wanted, since I was working on this tutorial, I really wanted to have time to get it up and have time for you to work on it. So, but other than that, Happy Valentine's Day. Look, a little chocolate never hurts. A little chocolate always hits the spot. So, look, I done ate the chocolate out of here, people. I was determined not to eat the chocolate, but I just ate the chocolate anyway. Oh, man. Oh, and I got a doctor's appointment coming up. Man, I don't know what my excuse is gonna be when I step on that scale. But see, I only buy these little bitty boxes. So there's only like 4 little pieces of chocolate. That's all you need. 4 little pieces. Anyway, so I put that there so that it would look good anyway. Well, let me think of anything that I want to tell you before I get into what I have to share with you, what's new. Let's see, do I have anything new? Not really. I have some new books coming up that I got in. I said I wasn't going to buy any books, but I meant pattern books, you know, people's books where they have their designs in them, because I really don't use them, and you saw me give away all those books. But, of course, that doesn't include stitch books. You know, I have to have anything new in stitch books. So I will be showing you and doing some book reviews coming up. That's new. Let's see. I will be adding, I don't have a name for it yet, and I'm not even sure how I'm going to do it. But out of these new books that I picked up, I just got an idea of doing more swatch-like stitches. Just, you know, but to make them into something, not just a plain little square. You know, I like to take it from there. But it will be a good way for all of you who are still sitting on the fence. Yes, we crochet, but we should, listen, we want you to knit too. I'm telling you. Then the sky's the limit. You can just do your own little thing. Just like, did you see my last video, my last tutorial? I just reached back to some of my older projects because I had good information in them, and it's hard for you to have, you know, I know I do long tutorials, so it's hard for you to find maybe some information that you remember me sharing without having to try to go through all the long videos. So every once in a while I'm going to do that, go back and look through some of my old projects, and you can do them again if you want to. But to find some information so that I don't have to keep repeating it on every video that I do. So that was, the last one was, you know, I've done a knit one and then a crochet one. This last one is a crochet one. I was simply telling you how to use repeats. And because you're always getting new people, and so it's a little sample or a little taste of how I crochet. And, you know, I'm about repeats in my crocheting, in how to fit you and how to measure. It just comes down to repeats for me, and I always just pick patterns that I can work, where I can really share with you the, you know, how I use repeats. And so hence here's one here that we're going to just go from that tutorial, the one, if this is 108, then that was episode 107, how to use repeats to design your crochet. So I'm going to show you again how to take that information and put it to good use and put it to work. And then a couple of videos back from that for all you knitters, I sat down and I did the same thing. I went through some of my knitting projects. I found some good information that, you know, I need to keep out in front. I need to keep sharing it and showing you over and over without having to tell you every video. So this way I have a place to send you so you can go look. So, well, Jay, for this Valentine's, what do you have? Like I said, chocolate. Chocolate. Chocolate is a good thing. And they said dark chocolate even better. Well, this, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it, but I think I'm going to call it, this is a shawl, and I think I'm going to call it You Inspire Me Shawl, because you inspire me, and I wanted to let you know in a special way for this month of February, and as we come and work around Valentine's Day. You Inspire Me Shawl. Now let's take a look real quick while I have it on, and then of course, you know, I'll go into detail once we go to the counter. Alright, so look at that. Now you just say, well, Jay, that's cute. It's kind of cute. That's different. Now this may look black on camera, but it's not. And I'll go over the yarn, but it's really a kind of a funny, dark looking walnut shell, And in fact, that's the name of it. This yarn came from Hobby Lobby. Like I said, I'll show it to you. But it's called Shawl. So it's not really black. And it's like a deep, dark brown. It's kind of like what that lady sold me that dye. What's supposed to look like. The one that turned my hair black, remember? But, so if it looks black on the camera, it's not. It's like a deep, dark chocolate. So I have two beautiful lace panels on the end. Can you see it? Can you see through it? Can you see me? On each side. Look at that. Okay. But then I also have a surprise for the back. Now I'm gonna see if I can turn around and show you. I don't know if I can let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can turn a little bit and then I'll take it off and show you. But I think you can see it against this white. Alright, you ready? There's a surprise for you. Can you see it? Could you see the back? Well, when I was designing this, well, in fact, I designed this last year, but I couldn't get it in. The calendars that I was using, I never could get it to fit the image on the calendar or the colors or something. So I thought this year, this February picture that we saw on the beautiful Legacy Calendar artwork by Christine Adolph, I thought, well, I was going with the teal, and then all of a sudden, like I said, the chocolate or the dark color jumped out at me. Either our dark gray, which I thought about, but then I came across this color, the color I'm going to share with you. But now the original one is this one. This is the one I made last year, but just couldn't get around to sharing it. This is out of Lions brand. What is it? Homeland? Heartland. Sorry, Heartland. This is out of Lions brand Heartland. And the stitch I had on this one's a little different, but it got so complicated and it started to worry me. I changed it for this one to make it a lot easier because, you know, I'm trying to share it with you. And I want you to, you know, once you started, I want you to finish. But that's the one that I designed last year. But I have improved it and changed it and made it a lot easier to share and for you to work. And we'll go over both of these once we go to the counter. So let me just take this off just one more time so you can see in case it didn't show up in the back. Here's the back of the shawl. And then it's a crescent type. See, it's a soft crescent. And we're going to use exactly what I shared with you in the tutorial, how to use repeats to design. How I use repeats to design my projects. You're going to get, let's put it back on. You're going to get it straight, just like I designed it. Show you how to fit your body, how to come up with the size, how to increase, how to do the pretty lace, and my motif in the back. So, what do you think of that? I hope it was worth waiting on. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to enjoy sharing it with you because you inspire me. And I have a shawl to prove it. So what do you think of that? I don't have anything else to share, so I'm all excited to get started. So, without further ado, let's work this shawl together. And I'm going to show you all the supplies that you need. Back in a minute. Well, all right, I'm over here at my counter now. And before we get started, I've got the shawl laid out, but before we get started, I did happen to go out. I went out to Hobby Lobby, and I never can remember when they have yarn. I never check when they have the yarn on sale now that they start having this 30% off type deal. But anyway, I happened to hit the right day, the right week. They had 30% off. And so, I walked around and looked. Now, they have really gotten in yarn that's really a different quality, a step above. They've got a lot of blends, a lot of the wools and other blends, and they've really made a turnaround in some of their yarns. Now, they still have the regular yarns. They're regular old, I love this yarn. Is that the name of it? I love something. I love this yarn. Okay. And, but then, besides that, like I said, they have got just several new lines of beautiful blended yarns. So if you're not quite ready to go up to a higher, yarn, it might be some you can try if you have one near you. I'm not affiliated with the store or anything like that. I just go there once in a while. I know the ladies who work in the yarn department now, and they're always glad to see me. We always stop and chat a while, and they always show me what's new. And and I pick up a few skeins here and there. But I just wanted to say that. And while I was there at Hobby Lobby, I saw this young lady. It has nothing to do with me being on YouTube or before I even got on YouTube. If I saw somebody with a basket of yarn, I just go up and go, "Hi, oh my gosh, do you knit or crochet?" And so I saw her had her basket full of yarns, and I went up to her and I said, oh, really, just a very nice looking young lady, just beautiful. And I said, "Oh, are you a knitter or crochet, or what are you making?" And she laughed and she was telling me. And then she said, "Oh, you're the lady on the YouTube, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, have you seen me?" She said, "Oh, yes." She said, "I've subscribed and everything." She said, I've seen you. And she says, I said, "Oh my gosh, do you knit or crochet?" And she says, "Well, I knit, but I loom knit." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, Jay wants to try to drop a name every once in a while. I don't know if anybody who watches me, but, I do like to try to drop names to people, that mean something to me. And I said, "Oh, have you ever seen my friend Margaret Olander? She's a loom knitter. She knows all about loom." She said, "Oh, yes, I've watched her." So that way we had something in common. And I said, "Well, what do you make?" And she said, "Well, I work for a hospital, but I just on my own do little preemie hats, the little preemie caps." And she just had a lot of different yarns in her thing. I guess she's just picking up one skein here, one skein there, because everything was 30% off. So I said, "Well, do y'all have a group?" I said, "Us people that do yarn, we're always looking for groups to donate yarn to." And she said, "No, she just does this on her own. And, but she does want to loom." And I said, "They have looms that little?" She said, "Yes." And so her name is Davita. She says spelled like David with an A at the end. Davita. So this is a shout out. I know you probably thought I forgot. I didn't get it in the intro because then I'd been talking. So, but this is a shout out to my friend Davita, my new friend. Thank you so much for watching, for your support. Thank you for watching my friend Margaret. And thank you I'm sure the people thank you for all the pretty baby hats that you donate. So, hope to see you again at Hobby Lobby. Knit on. Then, of course, I make the circle whenever I get out because I don't get out like I used to. Remember when I started, I'd get out almost every week and I'd make a long list of shout-outs. Well, I don't get out hardly anymore. I may go once a month now. Every once in a while, it might even be more than that because my stash is still so large. I just run out of stuff to buy. Like I said, except the Hobby Lobby's got new yarn, different yarn that I may be giving a try. But anyway, I made the circle, and I went on over to Joann's, had coupons, because they'll take everybody's coupons, well, Hobby Lobby doesn't. And while I was back there looking at some yarn, in fact, trying to make up my mind, which of the yarns I bought this at Hobby Lobby, but trying to decide, let me just check in, my Joann's to see if I see something else that I might want to make this shawl with. And I was on the road with Heartland, Line Brand Heartland, and I looked up and there was another, just a sweet, very pretty young lady. And we started talking. Now, I asked her, I said, "Well, what do you make?" And she says she does Afghans. I asked if she'd watched YouTube. She said, yeah, but she hadn't seen me. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is a chance. So I told her about my YouTube. Oh my gosh, she just lit up. Oh, she said, oh, really? She said, oh, thank you for telling me. I want to see it. And I have little paper, little prints of some of my designs that I just print off my own computer, off my own copier. So I gave her one with the name on the back, and I told her just go to Google and just put that in, and I'll come up, and that I would give her a little shout out. So her name was Quinette. Hi, my friend. She was just so excited. I've never seen anybody so excited. She just couldn't wait. She was just absolutely just amazing. So I wanted to give her a shout out also, my friend Quinette from Joann's. And maybe I'll see you again. But at least I wanted you to have this shout out. And I thank you for watching and for all your support. And I hope you're going to give some, you and Davita, I hope y'all will find something on my channel, take your time, and maybe give one of my designs a try. Maybe one of the shawls, like the teacher's shawl. It's a beautiful shawl. I'll have to put the link in, but it's called Teacher's Shawl. But after that, of course, I went ahead and did my shopping. So this is the yarn I decided on. But first, let me just walk you through. I'd like to just kind of give you an overview. This is a quick overview of Jay's Crochet You Inspire Me shawl. And we're going to start using the same information from the video, like I said, from that little tutorial right before this one, how to use repeats to design, or, how I work my crochet. We start with this awesome little simple lace pattern. I had one a little more detailed, but I got confused myself, and then I found this one, and it looked similar, so I decided to go with this, and it's only 2 rows, so this is going to be a lot easier. So we start with a little border, just like I do in my knitting. I may add a border to something. Well, there's that border, and then you have a row of eyelets. You have everything pretty much like it's set up. Sometimes the pattern has its own space, so much space. Sometimes I do drop the eyelet row. On the other one, I did have an eyelet row here, and I'm not sure if it enhanced it or not. It kind of got lost. Here's the original one, and my eyelet row really wasn't necessary. So sometimes it's not necessary if the stitch has enough space. A chain 2, chain 3, before you go into the double crochet. So I left that off, but we have double crochets. This is a section. If you crochet with me, this is a section that I increase and decrease in. Well, this one's just increase, so I increase every right side row on this side right next to the lace, on this side of the shawl. Not in the center, but on the sides. So that's my double crochet. Now, here's the center motif. And like I said, I did this a year ago. Might have been a little over a year ago. And I just had this idea. I don't know if it was around Christmas and I thought I was going to do a Christmas tree. I don't know, but I kept it in the back of my mind, like I said, and I kept the original one. But I did enhance this one and put an eyelet row on this side and this side. We're going to walk you through everything. And then here's the center spine. And just change to increase as you work your way down. This is the top, and this is where we'll start. We start from the top, working down this direction. Does that make sense? You know how to be turned that way. So there's the center back motif. And then, of course, more double crochets. And then this is the edge right before the lace. You can see, if you look, you can see how it slants over. You can see that it's increased going this direction. So the increase will fall right along here. Does that make sense? And then, of course, we have to end with the same lace that we started with and a border. Just like we worked the other side. So that's a quick overview of this shawl. And like I said, once I take you step by step and we write up a little hint of a formula, you're going to go, oh, Jay, I got it. It's so easy, quick and easy. That's not what I'm about. So real quick, while I have this out, let me show you the yarn. From Hobby Lobby, this is a yarn that I got. It was Yarn Bee Soft Secret. Now let's see on the yarns. Let's see if I need to pull. No, I'm okay. This is Yarn Bee Soft Secret. This color is Shell. It's not. It looks black. It's kind of a charcoaly black, kind of a walnut black, but it's not dead black. And of course, this yarn has a little sheen to it. I really like this yarn. It does have halo once you start crocheting or knitting it up, but it has this sheen that I really like, and I've used this, and I buy it in every color. It's just one that I keep. So this is a yarn that I use for this one. Now, I'm going to give you some ideas of some other ones real quick so we can get to our little formula for how to size. Alright, so that's the one I use. Now, you could use, of course, anytime I use something like this, you can always use Care & Simply Soft. So here's some Care & Simply Soft. Any color you want. Here is that first one I did was Heartland, and I don't know the color that is kind of that I don't know what color, I don't know how to label, but kind of beigey looking. Okay, but you can use Heartland from Lions brand. It drapes beautiful. The weight of it drapes really nice. That was that one I just showed you. Then, of course, if you can't find anything else, but maybe you're going to need at least 3 skeins. I would have 3 on hand. Here's Red Heart Soft. You could easily use that. See, I'm trying to make it really easy. And last but not least, every once in a while I forget about Deborah Norville. Every day. This is just, not baby, just everyday. Premium. Or Premier. Every Day by Deborah Norville, but not the baby. Baby's too small for that. I didn't want to go that small. A number 4 weight. Okay, so those are some of the yarns. You can just kind of look through your stash and see if you have, or or another brand, or if you have some some hand dyed yarn. But you want it to be around a number 4 or a very nice weight. And we're going to use crochet hook. We're going to start with an eye. So I need you to have an eye. But we will start, once we do a few rows in the eye hook, we would switch to a J hook to give it some body and bounce. So there's the yarn. Here's my sample. Let me come back now, clear up everything, and then I'll show you a little schematic line, something to kind of to work your shawl from. Be back in just a minute. Alright, so in my crochet, I don't have it set up, have a formula set up quite like I have in knitting, but I'm able to write up, at least to try to give you some size help and to show you how we're going to set it up, a layout. Now, normally in your notes, you'll have show notes. Well, for any information like this that I'm going to give you, I put it over in the comment section right up under the video. So if I'm going to add or give some extra information or some FYI, or like I'm going to show you this layout, then be sure to look over in the comments where people are commenting, and you will see something that says Jay's Help Box. Jay's Help Box. So here we go. Here's a layout. Here is a simple layout of, I crochet, since I don't really count chains as much as possible. Sometimes you have to, but I start with a long chain. And when we get ready to do it, I'll tell you about how long to make it. But this is my representation of a long chain. See, I just have a long chain. And then what I do is I go back as I'm designing. I just section up, do little sections of the chain, and put what I want where. So let me just check and see if this is on. Yep. All right. So let me go over for a small to a medium size. You don't need quite such a large shawl. So for instance, on this long chain, I'm going to have a border of at least 5 double crochets. So there's that. Then the next section will be the lace. The lace, of course, I have to work the lace from the stitch book, which I will show you what, which stitch book I'm taking the lace from. On my size, I repeated the lace 5 times, and that's what I suggest most of you will repeat the lace 5 times. We'll get into that, but that's the lace section. A border, then the lace, then I'm going to have a double crochet section, and this is a section that you will increase into. Every time we're on the right side row, on the side where next to the lace, we will increase on every right side row until, you know, we reach the number we need. But this double crochet, for small to medium, you're going to have 25, you're going to start with 25 double crochets right here on your long chain. Then I will tell you how to make the center motif, how to, you know, do the stitches and set aside. See, now right there, I changed that 2 or 3 times. I didn't know how many stitches I was going to need, but if I have a long chain, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about pulling back, taking back, refiguring. I just keep working on this long chain. Okay, after the center, of course, there has to be another double crochet, so you know, center, you know, so now all you got to do is make this side match that side. So 25 double crochets over here to match that side. And we will increase along this edge when we get ready to increase on every right side row. Of course, that's the lace, and we're going to have, I suggest, 5 repeats. I just kind of left it blank, but you know, if you decide you might want to go 6 or 7, if you're really tall, you know, if you're over 7, 5, 9, I don't know. You know, I'm so short, I can't imagine being, how wonderful that could be to be tall. But, you know, if you need to go up 6 repeats or 7. So, but that's where the lace is. And of course, if I started with a border, I'm going to end with a border, even in crochet, on this edge of the shawl. There is a layout of your long chain divided into little sections as we design, as we go across designing and putting in the stitches. This is just kind of a simple layout for you to follow. All right, now let's go to the next one. The next one is, I'll just cover up this one so it's not confusing. Now here's the size I worked. Let's see if I'm on camera. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Here's the size I worked. It is a large to 1X. I started, of course, with the border. I'm going to do about 5 double crochets. Then I'm going to repeat my lace, in my lace section, 5 repeats of the lace. 5 repeats. Then I have a double crochet section, which I will increase into. For my size, large to 1X, you're going to have to start with 35. 35 double crochets. Then the center. See? All on a long chain. For my size, I had to go up. I thought it would be better to go up about 10 stitches. Alright, then this side has to match, so 35 double crochets. I left that off, but it's 35 double crochets. And we're going to increase into this side. Then here's the lace. I got it in the wrong place, but here's the lace. Let's see. Double. J. Crochet happens. Then this is the lace. This is the lace section. And then here is border. So I just, look, Jay just made a little mess, but you can understand it. You'll be able to understand it. So whatever's on this side, you're just going to repeat on this side. So double crochet, the lace, and you end with a 5-stitch border. Just like that. Just like you started. Make sense? On my long chain, I'm just designing as I go. Whatever chains, once I get to the end, if I have some chains left, which I hope I do, if not, I've got to pull all this out and redo it. So I'm hoping to have some chains left, and then at the end of the whole project, we undo those chains and just work it back, walk it back, and then knot it. That's all there is. Makes it really simple. Now let's go to another size. I think I have another size. Yep, I do. Okay. Now here is, let's see if I'm on. Okay, there we go. Here is 2x to 3x. All right. Of course, the same thing. 5 for the border. We're going to have repeats. The lace repeat, I suggest 5, or like I say, if you're really tall, you can go 6 or 7 repeats. This person, because they're probably broader, or which is fine, we're going to go up to 45 double crochets. That's what you're going to start with, and you're going to keep increasing, because we're coming from the center back. We're working from the center back to get this to go around and over our shoulders and meet or come into the front of your body. So 45, then here's the center. Then, of course, if I have 45 double crochets on this side, I'm going to have 45, and then there. Going to have 45 there, and of course, I'm going to have the same number of repeats of the lace, whichever you decide, and then I have to end with a 5-stitch border on this long chain. And you hope you have chains left over that you don't have to pull out everything out and start over. Does that make sense? All right. Now, real quick, let me just show you the little stitch, and then we are going to get to stitching. This is another Old Faithful. Let's see if I don't have to move. Nope, I can leave the camera right there. This is an Old Faithful book I've given a book review on. The complete book of crochet stitch designs, and that's what we're doing. We're doing stitch designs on a long chain to make this shawl. So the stitch I used, if you have this book, I wanted something really simple, because we're going to be doing so much. It's a pretty good sized piece, and I don't want you to have to be miserable. I want you to you'll be able to fall into rhythm of this stitch. It's just 2 rows, and of course I have modified it. But there's no names in this book, only numbers. This is on page 257, and it's stitch number 353. Stitch 353. Let's see if I can take the glare off. Okay. And you can see it right here. Very simple, kind of staggered. You have 2 rows stacked on top of each other, and then the next 2 rows they stagger, and then they stack on top of each other, and then they stagger. So I thought it was very nice and clean, like I said, and I've modified it to change the edges so that it will work into my design. That's what you have to do when you're designing, but it's going to work out just perfect. Wait and see. All right, so there's your kind of a schematic, a formula layout of all the sizes. You just take your time and write out your particular size. Just make your line just like I did, and you will work just from this line. You'll just lay it over there to the side, and you're gonna see how easy it is to just work from this one line. And so next thing, all I need to do now, like I said, you would need a crochet hook eye. We're going to start with an eye to make our chain and to start filling in the different sections of the chain. We're going to work a little bit in the eye, and then the rest of the shawl will be worked in a USJ hook. All right, I think that's it. Let's start crocheting. All right. I've got everything set up, and so all I can say is let's get this show on the road. All right, so I'm going to start with, first of all, we have to start with a long chain, and the way you're going to figure out how many chains to do or how long to make your chain, here's your body, in very small size. And what I want you to do is just start with a crochet hook. Now this is US crochet hook I. This is a US crochet hook I. And I'm just going to start working my chain with this crochet hook. Now I've just got some bright yarn here just so that you can see. What you want to do is to crochet enough chains to go around your neck all the way down this design and these stitches and our little lace stitches. It's going to eat up a lot of yarn. Crocheting, it eats a lot of yarn. That's all I can say. So that you don't have to start and stop, It's better to waste a little yarn and have it long. So I went around my neck and down to at least each knee. Let's just say that. So I want a chain long enough to go down, and that will be the front length. The back we will work, and we will keep increasing till it comes around. But this is how you determine. This is the long part of this is the top part of the shawl, and this is where we're going to start. But like I said, it's better to have more chains than what you need. So why don't you just take it down to the knee on this side, around your neck, and down to the knee on this side. All right, so now let me move that, and then I'll come right back, and we're going to start working row 1. All right, so let's say we're working row 1. This is the right side, and I'm going to start. I wrote myself, I made myself a little visual, and just like for my long chain, and I'm just going to simply do 3, where you're going to do 5 for a border. I'm going to do the lace repeat 3 times. I'm going to put 15 double crochets, and then I'll do the center, and then I'll just do the same thing on this side. So I've written mine down on a piece of paper, so now hopefully you have done the same. I've got a chain here. Hope it's longer than what I need. All right, so in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, in the 4th chain, I'm going to do a double crochet. I always start it pretty much the same. And in the next chain, I'm going to do another double crochet. And when I count, you will count from here. You will count 1, 2, 3, and you will continue till you have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to stop at 3. Now, since this particular stitch has a chain 2 space, I did not have to make an eyelet row to separate. And sometimes stitches just work out that way, and that's good too. So after I do my border, your border is 5, I'm going to chain 2. 1, 2. That's the separation that will separate enough, because I'm going to skip 2 on the bottom. 1, 2. Skip 2 chains on the bottom. Now I'm going to do a 3 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, go in the next chain after I skip the 2 on the bottom. The next chain, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops, stop. Yarn over, go through, pull up a loop, pull through 2, stop. One more, because it's 3 double crochets. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, now stop. You will have 4 loops on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all 4 loops. Now chain 1 to close it off. All right. Now, in her pattern, she went right back into that same chain. I'm going to go to the chain right next to it, and I'm going to repeat the 3 double crochet cluster. Let's go. Yarn over in the next chain right here. Pull up a loop, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through again, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, pull up a loop, go through 2, stop. I have 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4. There's my 2 clusters right there, right next to each other, but there's a nice little hole. We'll use that later when on the next row. All right, now chain 2. 1, 2. Skip 2 on the bottom. I'll put up me some yarn here. Skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2. Now give me a simple double crochet. Right there. Chain 2. 1, 2. Skip 2 on the bottom. 1, 2. Now I need the 3 double crochet clusters again. Yarn over. In the next chain, pull up a loop, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, 1 more, yarn over, pull up a loop, go through 2, stop. I have 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, chain 1 to close it off. I need the same 3 clusters, but I'm going to use the next chain instead of the same one so it won't grow so large. So I go in the next chain, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2, 1 more, Here we go. Now I have, stop, I have 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4. There you go. Alright, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, in the next chain I need a double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2, now skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, now let's repeat the clusters. Now you kind of move and you can, just a simple stitch. No, I don't mind keeping my stitches just very simple. It's the whole project at the end. Have 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, chain 1 to close it. Now move to the next chain right there and do the cluster again. 1, 2, and 3. And pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Now, on my sample, I'm counting the clusters for the repeats. So I have 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go until you have 5, or if you're tall and you feel like, okay, Jay, I think I want to do 6 or 7. I don't think you need more than 7 because that's going to be really long. But if you feel like you need to go to a 6, you know, that's fine. But there are my repeats, and you're going to have 5. Now, I want to stop this, so I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, which will make myself an eyelet row. I won't have to make it. So now, in the next chain, I'm going to do, after I skip the 2 on the bottom, I'm going to do a double crochet. Now this starts the double crochet field. We finish, look on your schematic, you look at your visual, here's the border, you have 5, you have your lace, you have 5 of these clusters. Okay, I have just 3. Now we're up to how many double crochets will it take to fit me? For my size on the real version, I use, remember I had 35, but I'm going to just do 15 on this little sample. So I'm going to double crochet 15. Just like this. This will be our increase field once we start doing our increasing. Alright, so I'm just going across, working so I can get ready to set up my center stitch for the back. So let's just see how many I can get across over here. This is really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed making it. And I believe I will make another, I think I will make it in another color. Alright, let me stop and count. Oh no, that didn't look like 15. Let's go a little few more. And I'll stop and count. Alright, let's see how many I have so far. Like I said, you've got a long row. You've got a lot more than I do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Oh! Okay, so I have my 15. You have your 25, 35, or 45, however many. So once you finish that, take a look and see if you have that long chain. You're hoping you're going to have chain left, or otherwise you got to pull it out and start over. Alright, let me pull up me some yarn. Alright, now. Alright, on this one, let me just kind of check. You have to, you know, Jay, when I make this stuff, I have to keep track of what I'm doing. Oh, yeah. Alright, so now this is what we're going to do. Alright, we're going to chain. There was chain 2 on this end when I started all these double crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and put a chain 2. Let me see if that's what I'm sorry, I have to keep checking my original so that it will come out just like mine. I don't want you to say, Jay, mine doesn't look like yours. Yep. Okay, so chain 2, 1, 2. Now skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2. Now this is one. We're getting ready to go into our center back. So I have a chain 2, skip 2 here. and I did my double crochets, and I have a chain 2, skip 2. Looks like I might have did 3. No, I think it's 2. Let me do it again. Okay, 1, 2. Now skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, and do a double crochet right there. Now, give me another double crochet in the chain right next to it. So now I have 2 double crochets. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is, I think we only have to chain 1. Yep, that's right. Because, all right, now just simply chain 1 here. All right, skip 1. You're going to need a little marker because you're going to want to mark your center. I think you will, oh, I got some new little things in the thing when I make my Amazon order. I got a bunch of these little, in this little pack. So I'm going to need just 1 just to mark the center. All right, and the center is, yes, y'all say, Jay, are you not prepared? I got a lot going on, people. Got a lot going on. Okay. Now, chain 1, skip 1, and in the next chain, I'm going to put 2 double crochets, 1, 2. After I did the 2 double crochets, I chain 1, skip 1. Now, in the next chain, I put 2 double crochets right there. Now, chain 2. 1, 2. Chain 2. I'm sure I chained 2. Now, in the same chain, right there, we're going to put 2 more double crochets. This represents the center. So, 1, 2. So now I have like a little shell right there. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I went up the heel, now I got to come down. Chain 1, skip 1 here on the bottom. Now I want a double crochet there. 1 double crochet right next to it. 1. This matches. See, now we're just trying to repeat what's on one side on the other. See, there's a shell, there's the 2 double crochets. Now, to get back into your double crochets, I need to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2. Now I have to repeat your 25 double crochets, or your 35, or your 45 double crochets, whatever. And take this little marker, and I'm going to put it right here, just at the top. You'll know it's the center, but I just want it marked. I want my eye to, you don't have to put it here in the center, but you can put it right at the top. This is the center. Once we start working, going down, this is the neck, this is the back center of the neck, that little mark, and that shell stitch. And this is where we will start our increases soon. Alright, so now I've got to do 15 double crochets across, and then I will do exactly the same thing that I will repeat what I did on the other side to get to the end of my chain. And hopefully I will have chains left. It's better to have chains left. So let's see, can I get across? If I'm just real careful and just show you this little simple part, after a while you're going to whip through this thing. You're going to go, gee, I love this. It's just really easy. And it's just nice clean lines. It's not a lot of lace or a lot of the ruffles or anything. It's just, I just call it nice, and I call it calm. I just call it nice and calm. Right now, we need calm. I'm just not in the mood right now I just want some peace. Peace in the house. All right, I need 15 for this sample. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 1 is 15. Okay, I went a little farther than I should have gone. Now I'm going to count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 1 is 15. All right, so now when I look at I need to go to my lace. So I need to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2. And on the lace, you simply start, look at how you ended the lace. What did you end with? You ended with a cluster. So we have to start this side with a cluster. So after you chain 2, skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2. Now I go back into my cluster. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, chain 1 to close it, move to the next chain and repeat the cluster. 1, 2, 3, pull through. Okay, now chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, and I need a double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2. Now do the cluster. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 loops on the hook. Pull through all 4. Okay, chain 1. Okay, and then I go to the next chain right on the bottom because I'm going to do the cluster again. I just didn't want to do it in the same hole, in the same chain. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, pull through 2. I have 4 loops on the hook. Pull through all 4. Now chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, how many? Okay, I've got to just do 3. You've got at least 5. All right, now chain 2, skip 2 on the bottom. 1, 2. Now I do a double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 2 on the bottom. 1, 2. Now I need another cluster. 1, 2. All the while I was doing this on my large one, on my real one. Look, I can see that. Can you see that? How that chain keeps coming? Doom, 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 doom. I kept thinking, oh Lord, help me have enough chain. I can see the chain moving. You can see yours moving too. Okay. Oh, I lost track, so just pull it out. If you lose track, just pull your little cluster out and do it again. I need to go 1, 2, and 3. Can you believe it was up to 77 degrees? Oh, tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I got to try to find something cool to wear. It's going to be in the 70s. All right, now chain 1 to close that one off. Go to the next chain right beside it. I can't believe it. 1 minute we're preparing for Snowmageddon or whatever, Ice-mageddon. 2, 3. But I was praying for good weather for the Super Bowl because so many people were going to be in Atlanta. And I did not want anyone to be hurt or, any kind of something bad to happen. And we had beautiful weather. So there's 4 loops on the hook. Go through all 4. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3. All right, so now I finished my 3. You have 5, 6, or 7, depending on what. So now I need to get back just to how I began. So I look over to the end. Just remind yourself what did you do. So I chain 2 to end it. 1, 2. Skip 2 on the bottom. 1, 2. Now you had 5 double crochets for a border. I have 3 on this sample. Voila. Now pull up a loop. Now what you do is on your long chain, just check and see did you get everything. I have my border. I have however many repeats on your schematic, on your little line, your visual there. So I have 1, counting the clusters, 1, 2, 3. Then I went into, I have 15 double crochets. This is what we're going to increase into. I left a nice space there, a chain 2 space. Then I did 2 double crochets, but only chain 1. I didn't need but a chain 1. Then, and skip 1. And then I did this shell with a chain 2 in between there. I marked it as the center back neck. Same thing on this side to match over here. There's the chain 2. There's my 15 double crochets, or your 45, 35, whatever. Chain 2, I have 1, 2, 3 clusters. Chain 2, skip 2, and I end with 3, or you're going to end with 5. Now, like I said, this is the right side, and this is just, like I said, you just have a longer chain. Now when you get to the end, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn the work. Now you've got a long chain, and like I said, hopefully you had some chain left. Alright, now once we turn, we're on the wrong side, and we will mark that soon. But let's go through it first, but yes, we definitely will mark it. Now you're just going to stack things. Chain 3 after when you turn, and now you stack the double crochets on top of the double crochets. You chain 2 where you need to chain 2, 1, 2. Now, on this little pattern, like I said, I had to change it, and I wanted to make it so it would fit my project. I'm going to stack a cluster on top of this cluster, a double crochet on top of this one, a cluster, a double crochet, a cluster, and then all the double crochets on this wrong side row. So after I chain 2, now watch, I go right inside of that little space now where I did the chain 1. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. Oops, I didn't do 3 right. If you mess up, just pull it out. 1. That's 2, 3. Okay, till you have the 4 loops on the hook. Pull through all 4. Chain 1. Now you can go into that large space. You're going to put 2 clusters. 2. I have 3. So that makes 4 loops on the hook. Pull through all 4. Chain 2. 1, 2. Now, what could be easier than that? It's the whole project. Chain 2. 1, 2. Alright, I'm going to work across. It's just stacking until we get to the center, and then I'll see you back. That way I can check my camera. Alright, we're just stacking and chaining 2, and I'll see you as you get closer to the center. Alright, so I've worked up this. We're on row 2. This is the wrong side. We'll mark it in just a minute. So now I've worked by stacking things on top of each other. Where I chain 2, I would chain 2 on the wrong side, just like I was, just to keep everything together. Alright, I'm up to my 2 double crochets, and then there's a chain 1 on either side of this little center fan or shell stitch. So when I get here, I simply chain 1. Make sure I didn't already do it. I think I already did it. Let's do it again. So, just to stay, chain 1 in pattern, skip that space. Now, I will simply put 2 double crochets into this center of the motif, the center stitch. Now, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 double crochets in the same top of the shell. There we go. See? Now, to get here, we have to go all the way to this space, chain 1, and then I will do the 2 double crochets going down the heel, just like this. Get a little more yarn, and of course, after on this side, I go back into the chain 2, 1, 2, and then I stack on top. 1 double crochet on top of another on the wrong side. Okay. Let me get a little more, and then we're going to stop, and I'm going to show you this, something that that's important that I need you to so let's see, can I work right on across? Okay, so I'm coming up to my lace section. We're on the wrong side. All our increases will be done on the right side. So I get here, and of course, I'll just read what I have and start stacking. Skip 2, well, chain 2, 1, 2, then skip over those 2 over to the center, and you're going to stack clusters on top of cluster. 1, 2, 3. We start the whole process. 4 chains, the whole process over. Chain 1, and then another cluster in that same space. 1, 2, and 3. 4 loops on the hook. Chain, go through all 4, and then chain 2. 1, 2. Double crochet on top of a double crochet. All right, now go all the way to the end of the row, of row 2. But before we turn, I want to look at the center. We haven't turned yet. Now, just so that you will remember that this is the wrong side and where to increase, I can start kind of backing out a little bit now because we're going to work a longer. All right, I've taken a contrasting yarn. Now, on this wrong side, row 2, see we're on the wrong side right now. Come back right here by this lace. I want to remind you that this not only is the wrong side, but this is right in this area is where we're going to start our increases when we go to the right side. So I need you to take a crochet hook, and a contrasting piece of yarn, pull it through like you do a piece of fringe, and just pull it. Okay, there's the mark there. All right, I need you to come over here and do the same thing on this side because there's 2 increases. So when you see this little yarn, you'll know this is the wrong side and not to increase on this side, but you'll know which ends to increase on these 2 ends that's close to the lace. So I put it in with a crochet hook like that, and then just bring it through like you're going to put some fringe on. Now I know wrong side, when I come, we'll start increasing. So let me finish this and then we'll turn and we'll be at row 1 again because I have to show you how to alternate the pattern. Back in just a minute. Alright, so I'm finishing up on row 2. I've got to the end and we're going to turn, but we're also going to change our hook now. We're going to go to our J hook, and this is what the rest of the shawl will be worked in, is your J hook. So as we get ready to chain 3 and turn, put away your I crochet hook, pick up the J, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work. Now we're on row 1 because we're on the front side of the work again. We have the backs marked. Now we have changed our crochet hook. I'm going to pull in just, let's see, can we, alright. Alright, so we start the process. Now this time we are going to alternate the pattern. So as I chain 3 and turn, and now I'm using my J hook, and now I stack my border on top of your 5 double crochets on top. I have 3. I get here to where the lace starts, and I chain 2, keep it in pattern, 1, 2, Now this time, on this right side, we're going to put the double crochet right here in between these two clusters. So 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. See, we're alternating the pattern now. All right, now I go over to where I have the double crochets stacked on top of each other. There's 2, but this time I'm going to put the cluster here. So I go into the double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. And then I have 4 loops on the hook. Pull through all 4. Okay, now chain 1, because we have to put a set of clusters. So that's 1, go in again, 2, go in one more time, into that double crochet, 3, 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, now on top of this set of clusters, 1, 2, I need to alternate by putting just 1 double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. I move to this set of double crochets right there, and now I'm adding a cluster on top. 1, 2, 3. I'm adding the 4 loops, go through all 4, chain 1, put another cluster in that same stitch, in that same double crochet. That's a little tight, but not like with this yarn. This is why you don't want to use just plain really heavy yarn. You really want to find a nice yarn. And if you like lightweight yarn, you can do it. You're just going to have more double crochets and more lace repeats. If you want to give it a try with a lighter yarn, you say, well, yeah, I like number 3. Well, you just have to adjust the pattern, and I've taken you through, you know, and most of the pattern you can just tell it goes up by 10, so you just have to, it will be easy to figure it out. All right, so now chain 2, 1, 1, 2. On top of this cluster, all I need is a double crochet here. Chain 2, 1, 2. More yarn. I'm trying to get over to where, okay, so now for me, I'm getting over to my increase. This is the first increase row. I'm on my J hook now. I don't have to chain hooks anymore. I will work the whole shawl in this hook. All right, after I chain 2, now I'm ready to go all the way. I'm going to skip from here over to here. The first double crochet, right off the bat, when I see this contrasting yarn, I know this is the end that I do the increase on, not somewhere over here. So I go into the first double crochet. I'm going to stack double crochets now. I do that, but in the second double crochet is where I'm going to make 2 double crochets. I'm going to do, that's 1, and then in the same chain, I have just made my first increase on row number 1, the right side, and I did it on the lace end of all these double crochets. Now, all I have to do is go up, but I need to show you how to increase in the center. There's an increase there too. So let's see how quick can I do this without having to change the camera. Now with this J hook, to me I can just crochet a little faster because it's larger and just moves really quick. But you do not want heavy yarn like this, like I'm demonstrating on. I'm doing this so that you can see it. It's just some old worsted weight yarn, scrap yarn. So now I'm just stacking all those double crochets. I've made 1 increase there. But the center also gets an increase. And then we'll increase when we get on the other end. But let's continue to go up the heel to the center. All right, see, not yet. Going up the hill. I get here to the last double crochet, whatever your number was. You know you have a chain 2 here in this large space. So chain 1, 2. I do those 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Okay. Then this right here, get my yarn so we can, okay, on this side and this side, after I pass those 2 double crochets, here's where we start the increase on the center shell. Row 1, I had, when we started on the right side, I had a chain 1. You automatically going to put a chain 1 on the wrong side. Now I'm on the right side again, and this time I'm going to put chain 2. 1, 2. I've just increased that chain. Now I go into my little shell at the top, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochets. Now, if I increase it by two chains on this side, then over here, I have to chain 2, 1, 2. I go to my 2 double crochets stacked right there. I've just increased on each side of my shell and my center. Then I go back into pattern. This is 2 double crochets, 1, 2, that's just the pattern. Now I work, and let's see how fast I can get over to the other mark where I need to increase. But you increase on the side, on this side towards the lace. That stitch, that color reminds me not to increase till I get on this side, or to get on this end. That's what I want to say. So here we go. So I'm crocheting across now. I've increased my center, and then we'll talk a minute. All right, so okay, let's see, I got to go up to the last 2 double crochets before I get to the lace. Okay, so here I am at the last 2 double crochets, and I see that little yarn, and I know I need to increase on this edge, on this section right here, on this end. So the last 2 double crochets before the lace, I go into this double crochet, and I 1 double crochet, then another one, just increase. Then you double crochet into this last double crochet right there before the lace. Now chain 2, 1, 2. Now remember, everything is just alternate from what we, so I have 2 clusters, so now I need to put a double crochet on top of those, chain 2, 1, 2, move on over. There's 2 double crochets, but I need a cluster, 2 clusters, you know, 1, 2, and 3. I think I have my yarn on the wrong side or something. Okay, 4 loops, go through all 4, chain 1. I need another cluster in that same double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go through, now chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, the next thing, I know I need to do the alternate stitch, so in that space in between the clusters, I'm going to put a double crochet and go all the way to the end. Now it starts to, the stitches are switching. I have increased. Now I need to tell you something, show you this real quick. Let me get a little pad. Alright, so let's go back a second. I'm going to put up a loop. See if I'm still on the camera. I hope I am. Alright, so now you'll need a pen or a pencil because I'm going to tally the center ones. The outside ones you can see right away and you'll know if you increase because you're going to do it on every right side row. But the center, this is the center, increases. Alright. I did, when we started, we had 1 and 1. On the back side, you automatically do the same number. Now, well, 1, chain 1, chain 1. So I'm just going to mark 1. I've done 1. Now on this one, I've started chaining 2. So when I go to the back side and when I turn the work, which will be row 2, okay, I don't have to increase on this side. I only increase on the front. I work across, stand in pattern, standing pattern, standing pattern. So when I do the 2 double crochets, I will have to chain 2 to get up to the top of the heel and put my 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Then I have to chain 2 again, and then when I do that, I will stop and mark 2. You think sometimes it gets hard to count the chain, so it's better to have a little tally so that you know I've done 1 chain, I've done where I've 2 chains, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to work this a little bit so that we can get a little more done, so you can see a little more. But this is basically it. But you need to keep up with how many chains. Like I said, I would do the little tally on your center section because it's going to grow, and it might get hard to count your chains. You know, maybe you could see it on this big yarn, but your yarn is smaller. Okay, we are just simply stacking. Of course, when I turn the work, you just read the pattern just like it is. You just read these stitches, and you will wind up with, you know, 2 shells. You know, 2 shells, 2 double crochets, 2, not shells, but clusters, 2 double crochets, and that's how you will alternate the pattern. Alright, let me work a little bit, and we'll just go from here. Take your time. It's fun now. You can see what you're doing. We are on the J hook, so it should go a lot faster, a lot easier to just work back and forth. Row 1, and then row 2 is on the wrong side. Back when it's time to increase, you're back to row 1. Alright, see you in just a little bit. Okay, I just wanted to come back real quick before I did some more on this. So now, I just wanted you to see how we alternated the lace stitches. It takes a right side and a wrong side of these clusters, and then you'll have 2 double crochets, 2 sets of clusters, 2 double crochets, and then the alternate would be on top of the clusters, eventually 2 double crochets, on top of the 2 double crochets, 2 sets of clusters, and then, so you're alternating the pattern, so I wanted to make sure I explained that. So as you're doing row 1, back and forth, row 1, row 2, you will know that it takes 2 of everything. And then when you turn the row, and then you start again. So then you'd have a cluster, then a double crochet, a cluster, double crochet, and then you'd have to come back again. That's what your alternate rows will look like. And I wanted to make sure you knew that it takes, you know, there's going to be 2 stacked on top of each other of every stitch. Does that make sense? I hope I'm... Here I am again. It's about 1:30 in the morning. Okay, I'm getting ready to go to bed. All right. I will work some, and I will see you again tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon. I'll have a little more done on this, and if there's anything else comes up, I'll tell you that too. just remember to keep a tally as we increase. So after 2, of course, you'll have to chain 3, and then chain 3, and then you'll work back and forth, and then you'll eventually chain 4, chain 4. See, but you need to keep up with it, because it is hard to especially if you're working on dark yarn like my shawl is dark. It was hard to see. All right, take care. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow night. All right. Well, it's the midnight hour, and Jay is ready to go. That's what I should have named my channel, but knitting in the midnight hour, or crocheting in the midnight hour. Today is the 7th. Look, and it's around almost midnight, and all of a sudden, instead of getting ready to go to bed, I always get this little burst of energy. So I jumped over here real quick. I'll just do a little bit. We won't stay up too late. But I wanted, well, one thing too, I was running out of my little practice yarn, so we need to get to the end so you can be working. All right, let's see if your sample looks like my, or your project looks like my sample on this. Now I'm using this large yarn so that you can see it, but you definitely would not use. You can see how stiff it is. All right, but you can see now how I have been crocheting, and alternate every 2 rows. After 2 rows are the same, and then you alternate on the next row. So just to repeat, just to catch us up, there's 2 clusters, and then you'd have a double crochet above, you'd alternate. Double crochet, then a cluster, double crochet, then a cluster. Then when you come back on the wrong side, you just do what you did on the right side. So therefore you'd wind up with 2 double crochets stacked on top of each other, 2 clusters. See, that's how you alternate the pattern. But anyway, look at yours and see if it looks hopefully like mine. All right, so now what I want to get to, all right, now let me move over towards the center. Okay, now the center is where, of course, right here on this edge, remember we had marks to let you know that you were always to increase on the right side, every right side row. And it's easy to remember to look, and you just look down every other row and you'll see 2 double crochets that you put in together to increase. So now that side is increasing out just ever so slightly. See how it kind of goes out. Okay, now let me pull it across. Make sure I'm still on camera. Now we need to get to the center increase. Okay, now I hope you can see that. All right, the center increase. Yeah, all right. Center increase is simply increasing these chains as we go up the hill to this center fan or shell stitch right there, where there's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now, and then of course when you come down here you have to chain. This is where you needed to keep a little running tally so you know if you, that you've increased, we started with 1 chain, and then we increased to 2 chains, and then we increased to 3 chain, and eventually 4, and then 5. Now, let me show you how many you're going to go up and how it looks. But does yours look like mine? Now, when we wear it, of course, it's going to go in this direction. Make sense? But we have to crochet it in this direction. Let me just go on across. And then, of course, on this side, you have the increases near the lace, and it ever so slightly increases out, and then the lace again. Alright, let me show you this, and then we'll come back to this, how to end it. But I want to show how, show you something on my original. Alright, so here is, see if I got it on the right side. Yep, here's my original. Now I'll back out a little bit so we can see it. And I can show you. That's not too bad. Let me just back out just a little bit. Okay. Now on the original shawl, we're going to count these center shells. That's the easiest way. just in case if you forgot to increase on one or something, and it might throw you off. Don't worry about that, you know, but if you keep the little tally, you hopefully will have all your increases. Alright, so starting at the top, I'm counting this shell stitch 1, 2, 3. Let's see, let me just start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now, you can go anywhere from 22, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 22 to 24, depending on how long you want yours to drape in the back. But wherever you stop, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so if I went 24, all right, then I decide that's where I want to stop. You know, you put it across your shoulders, around your body. You think that's long enough. All right, then on the next right side row, you'll stop on the wrong side, and then the next row will be a right side row. This is when we're going to fill in all those chains again with a double crochet. Now let's see if that's showing up on the camera. This is when, and I'm going to show you how to do it on the little sample. This is so dark. I'm going to have to show you on the sample. But just hold it up anyway so you can see it. This is when we start. I've decided I've done 22. Maybe 22 is all you want. And then on the next right side, we're going to fill in those chains with double crochets so that there's a bottom to this motif. And then, but we will keep the center, but no increases or decreases. We'll simply just chain one and keep going and fill in on this side with double crochets across like that. I don't know if that's showing it. So let me show you. But I wanted to show you how many, just count, just as you're working yours, you try it on. You can go down as many of the center shells as you want. Like I said, I went about 24. Now I decided, okay, I want to stop. So now I want to stop this and end the bottom. Alright, so let me go over. Let's see if I'm over far enough. Oh, I should have got over far enough. Okay, let me crochet over and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've worked my way over to the center. So we're pretending now that you've made your center as long as you want. You've draped it around your body to see how long you want the center. Alright, so I'm coming up to finishing up my little double crochet section. And then, of course, now staying in pattern, right here, there's just a chain 2. Just like you've been working. Then I had 2 double crochets right there together. You can see the pattern. Really should be able to see your pattern quite well by now. So I do the 2 double crochets. Now I want to stop. We're pretending like, okay, I've got it as long as I want. Now I want you to take, go to the last chain that you worked and turn it to the front. Turn your chain so that you can see the front of the chain, so that it'll lay right too. So I just turn it a little bit. Now I'm going to just continue double crocheting. I did those 2. I'm checking have to check my original that I'm doing it right. You know, Jay's always. Let me see. Yep. All right, so I just now go into and start doing a double crochet in each chain. So if you had wound up with 12 chains, then you're going to try to get 12 double crochets. If you wind up with 10 chains across, you're going to try to get 10. So you just go across. Now I'm just having to pretend, but I'm showing you I'm just simply, I did the chain 2 and for that space, then I did those 2 crochets together, and then I just keep going with my double crochets till I get to the center shell right there. Okay, now just to give it a little space, I chain 1, go up to the center of the shell, stay in pattern, so that will be 2 double crochets, See, I chained 1, went into the center, 2 double crochets, chain 2. This is to keep the pattern. Now 2 double crochets on this side, 1, 2. Now, see, we stayed in pattern. Now chain 1 so I can get down to this chain, because I have to get over here. So I did a chain 1, turn your chain on this side, and just continue to double crochet. However many chains you have. You just put your double crochets in there. You just have to rotate your chain a little bit so that you can see it. So I'll just pretend like I've got, you can have 10, 12, however many, whatever you stopped at. Okay, so I come here. I'm just doing a double crochet all the way till I get to those 2 double crochets on this side. Now just go right into the 2 double crochets. It's all filled in. Okay, now get back in the original pattern. Right here you chain 2, 1, 2, and continue. And go across. Now, we have to still continue to increase. You would have made the increase on this side as you were coming across. We stopped the center, but now we still have to continue to increase until the very end on these sides. So you just crochet across. I'm on the front because I have the back marked. And so I'll just go across like this. And I'm going to work up to the last 2 double crochets, just like you've been working it, just like you've been increasing the whole time. The very center we stop, but these 2 edges, or 2 ends, we have to continue to increase on until the very last row, until you're done. Now I see I came up to the last 2 double crochets. So in this one, I'm going to put 2 double crochets to make the increase. Then I double crochet into the last one. Now I get back into my lace pattern. Chain 2, 1, 2. I look to see I already have 2 double crochets there. So now I need to go with, start the shell again. Start the cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, stop. I have the 4 loops on the hook again. Pull through all 4, chain 1, cluster again in that same one. About out of yarn, so I have to stop. I saw that I was running out of yarn. That's why I wanted to come back on real quick. So now watch. You will do this till you have 3 rows of double crochets. You'll have a right side, a wrong side, and 1 more right side. And that last right side is your last row. So then I will have a right side, a wrong side, and 1 more right side of this. So I will wind up with 3 of these rows where I'm just double crocheting here. You'll put a chain 1 here just to make just to give a little room, and then just keep right on going. You will have 3 rows for that. All your ends will be increased in, and then of course you can just cut your yarn and weave in anything. Now to finish it up, this is what I want to show you. Now I'm gonna have to switch to another color real quick because that's just the way it is, people. In the midnight hour at Jay's place. Okay. So I'm all done. I've got, just like on my original, I went as long as I wanted. I wrapped it around me. I went to the mirror. I looked. I checked the back. I had 3 rows to end it. 1, 2, 3. 3 of these double crochet rows. And I thought, oh man. And then I looked and I thought, well, the top edge doesn't look just didn't look finished. So this is what I did to finish off the top edge. So I take, of course you'll be using the same yarn. Alright, I want to go right up here. Remember, we're going to cut this off. You will eventually cut this off and weave all and follow your yarn back. You can cut it off before you do this part and just follow the yarn back. Cut some of it off and you'll just unravel it and then pull it till you make the knot and weave it in. Then you can just take your yarn, your same yarn, go into the very edge, connect however you connect. I just pull it through, and then I pull both through to connect it, pull it tight. Now I'm going to chain 2. 1, 2. I'm still on my J hook, because I want the neck to be nice and relaxed. Now, in every chain or stitch I can get into, I'm going to do the extended single crochet. The American extended single crochet. And it's just, we've done it before, but it's this simple. You take your hook and you go into a stitch. You pull up a loop. I have 2 on the hook. Now I will go through, yarn over and go through the first loop, stop. Now yarn over and pull through both. You can pull it. Now look for another place under 2 strands or in a good stitch or in a chain. Pull up a loop. You have 2. Pull, yarn over, pull through the first loop, stop. And then yarn over, pull through both loops. And then I'll look for another place, another chain. You don't want to, just take your time on this. Pull through the first loop, stop, and then pull through both loops. Otherwise, you will fall into double crochet. you will look back and go, "Oh man, I did double crochet instead of the extent." I love this stitch on my crochet because it reminds me of like a seed stitch, or it just finishes off the edge really nice, much better than a single crochet. So this is what I use. First loop, then to the second, through both. Okay? And you look for a chain or a place to go in. Go through, pull through the first loop, stop, and reach it, and yarn over and pull through both loops. And I like to give a little pull when I do that after I'm done. Go into a place, a good chain. 1, 2. See, you can kind of see somewhere to go into. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, see. Let me just check my camera. See, I could have been a little closer. Let's just go. We'll do a few more of these so you can really see it. Okay. Because I like this little stitch. It just reminds me of a knit stitch. Alright, you just, no yarn over, just put your hook in. Into a chain, yarn over, pull through the first loop, stop, yarn over again and pull through both loops. Find another place to go in. I'm going to go up in under there. There's 2 strands. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, stop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Find another place. This is the extended single crochet. Now sometimes if I looks like, oh, that looked like I might have double crocheted. Sometimes you'll wrap the yarn because you're so used to it. But no, don't wrap. Just hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, then pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Then you work across. Now, of course, once you get to the other end, you would chain 2 and turn. And now you're going to be able to work in your own loops, and you can work back You'll be on the wrong side, of course. This is the right side, so you work a right side row. Was I on the right? Yeah. Right side, then come back on the wrong side, and then work one more right side. So 3 rows. Now let me pull the original. So I think you can maybe see how it looks a little more finished, and you can see, like I say, it to me it always reminds me of a pretty. It just looks more like my knitted at the top. Let's see how close I am, and can you see that? I'm going to hold it up to the camera. I'm going to bring it up close. There's that nice little stitch, and to me it looks like a little seed stitch, or it's just really nice. Let's see how it's just finished. It finished off the front edge of the shawl that comes around, hangs down the front. Take your time, don't do big jumps. Make sure you know, try to work in a chain all the way, and you're going to do 3 rows. You're on the right side, then a wrong side, and then one more right side, and then cut your yarn, weave in your ends, and voila. Oops. How nice that looks. And then it ends off this side with all your lace. Okay. Well, that, my friends, is the gist of it. Of Jay's Crochet You Inspire Me shawl. And that's exactly what I wanted to have when I finished. A shawl that I felt like where you just inspired me. Jay, you can do it. You can do it. I'm gonna back out just a little bit so it's not so close. And then I thought, like I said, I had done this last year, but just couldn't get it done, and I just wanted so much to get this little design out to you. And I've got another one with a nice motif in the back. I'll try to find, of course, a new stitch, new lace stitch. So, I don't know what you think. I hope you give it a try. I really enjoyed making this. Like I said, it doesn't bother me to make things in different colors, but make sure you pick a good yarn that's going to drape nice. It can be a number 4, or if you like a number 3, that's fine. But you may have to adjust the numbers on the number 3. Instead of 35, you may have to go up to the next size to get enough to come around your body. So, but that's easy. You just go up by 10 stitches. 10 stitches on each side. Should work just fine. Well, let's see. Did I leave anything out? I gave you all the yarns. I think, and I've shown you everything. I can't think of anything else. I'm working on something else already. Man, this job, look, this job just never quits, does it? There's the lace for this. I really enjoyed the lace. So, this is Jay. And of course, this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam in the midnight hour. It's the only time I can have some peace. You know, there's nothing on TV. You just can't look at anything. I'm telling you, we just need peace. We need to just pray for some peace. So I found it in the midnight hour, crocheting with my friends on my YouTube channel. So until next time, I'm working right away. I hope you give this a try. It's all in the yarn, and just follow me step by step. You can do this. Well, I'll see you.